Welcome in to a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live, driven, and powered by Go Chevrolet. What a beautiful Tuesday morning it is here in South Louisiana. Appreciate you starting your day with us. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment on what we got going on here, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, JordyCulottaShow.com. We appreciate you being there. Remember, daily, we're driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to the boys over at Go, boys and girls over at Go Chevrolet. Lee Carney, Nick Richard, the entire crew, GEAUXChevrolet.com. GEAUXChevrolet.com. You're looking for new cars. They are out in LaPlace. If you want a used car, it's over here in Baton Rouge at Go Express Auto Sales. They got a new lot up in Tennessee. Go Express, Go Chevrolet, driving us every single day. Shout out to our crew over at Papa Earl's. They are our official spice here. True Blue Water every day. Majestic Coffee, DeliciousSips.com. Our phone line is sponsored by Metropolitan Health Group. Real doctors, real solutions with our friends over at Metropolitan Health Group. Shout out to Charlie Harvey, Jason Ramazan, the entire crew. Big day for them. They're looking forward to the basketball season getting going tonight. ULM in town. Shout out to Dead Soxy. Official socks here of the Jordy Culotta Show. They're so comfortable, bro. I just got the standard blacks on.
I got the no-shows.
The no-shows are clutch, too.
My yoga socks.
All good. All good. Missed you this morning. Did some real Pilates this morning.
Ooh.
Coach.
Did you get on the board?
Got on the board.
That thing will hurt, dude, your hips.
The hips, the hammies.
Everything.
Everything.
We're a lower body podcast now.
Yeah. Well, just getting kind of old. Trying to find new ways, man.
The
mix of the yoga Pilates, I think, might be a nice recipe for the winter months.
You get more of the yoga. I mean, the Pilates, you get more of it. Feels like a workout.
Yeah,
the yoga, a lot of core focus.
Sore, coach.
Chi.
Already.
Very sore.
Already.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm talking like not even an hour out.
Bouncing off that thing with the one foot.
Bro.
Yeah,
That's
it's good.
Good to have you start your day with us. That is Noah Tingle. He is here starting off. We'll have Will Wade at 8 a.m. this morning. Salute to the general. We will ask him who talked him into dressing up like a general. I got to know.
It's amazing.
Who convinced him to do it? Who was the final, yep, you know what? After he said we were going to do it, we're doing it. Or maybe it was Brittany Carvalito. We'll find out. I am looking forward to see the general's mindset here going into game day. I know if anybody is more fired up than all of us out there, it is William Wade, as he has probably not slept, been on the treadmill, gotten his run in this morning, probably hitting campus. We'll ask him where the run was made, whether it was in the carport on the treadmill or whether he hit campus like
it's a campus day.
Little retro. It is kind of feels like a campus day.
I watched the Gold Standard yesterday. I flew through both of them.
Aren't they great?
I'm all the way in.
It's
amazing.
Set the notifications. I mean, I want more content.
It's so good. I got to ask him about overtime fudge. I don't know what that means, but he got everybody hyped in the first episode when they broke it down.
Yes.
Like, all right, on overtime fudge. Like, overtime fudge.
Fudge is one of those guys he's gonna pop up at some inconspicuous time this year and probably win you a game, make you a play where you're just like, wow, look how deep this team is. Damn, I wish Adam Miller was still healthy, man. But it's all good. It's all good. You can replace the points. We will talk a ton about LSU basketball coming up here. Frank Wilson's going to be here at 7:30 this morning. We were over at LSU Football Ops yesterday, or over at the Lawton Room for Orgeron's weekly press conference. Katie and I, Jordan, were there getting some photos. Hopefully you've seen those pictures. If you've seen them on Instagram, if you've seen the video, like and share that for us as well. But as in typical Ed Orgeron fashion, just feeding up content for the local talking heads. I mean, yesterday, and look, again, I'm not piling on, but if he's going to continue to give content and give these types of press conferences, we're going to react to him. And the reaction to yesterday's press conference is just, are you serious? Are you kidding that you're going to divulge a private conversation that you've had with a player's dad and a conversation that you've had with the player into the public and make it look like that was the deciding factor for pulling the red shirt off of Nussmeier going into this week? I just thought that yesterday was a much more of a clear display of how just unfit Ed Orgeron is for the LSU head football coaching jobs. On Saturday night, we can debate all of the antics and the looking into the crowd. I kind of liked a lot of it. You know what I mean? It did look like he was coaching with house money, which he is. over the last month.
Literally.
But if you're going to get out into the public and not protect the team and the private conversations that you have with your players' parents, you don't think that Jamie Howard is looking at that saying to himself, hold up, that can happen where Doug Nussmeier, who is the Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks coach, holds a lot of weight in the football world, can just pick up the phone and say, hey, you know what? After our conversation last week where we decided as a family we thought it was best for Garrett to wear a red shirt, and Garrett went to Tuscaloosa and saw that he had an opportunity to get into that game, came home, saw everything that was happening on social media, listened to what everybody was saying about him trying to get an opportunity or getting an opportunity in that game. He goes nuts, wants to play. He's emotional. He's a player. He wants to play in the now. He doesn't see the long-term vision on this thing. Hopefully the adults do. But Nussmeier says, hey, man, give him an opportunity. And Orgeron runs to the microphone on Monday morning and tells everybody about those two conversations. I just think it's so unprofessional and it's so unfit of a CEO who's guiding a $100 million company not to put all of our information out on the street, man. Is that too much to ask? Can the brand have some sense of protection? Can we not show how vulnerable you are as a leader, where a simple conversation between you and somebody's dad now is going to peel the red shirt off of this kid for the last month of the season and just see what happens? I mean, it really is almost sickening to see how much this job has gotten away from Panamsky and crew. I mean, Panamsky's sitting in the corner yesterday with his fake cough on the, pneumonia that he claimed he had. Panamsky was out 2 days last week, in the middle of the week, just, hey, missing 2 days of work, tells everybody he's got pneumonia and just shows up on game day, hops on the plane and, takes it all in. Hacking and coughing in the corner yesterday. We get it, bro. We got it. Can you get your guy right and see if he can't get the message right? Can't he just protect the conversation between him and a player and him and a player's dad? I mean, how weak of a leader are you? That's all it took? Was the dad to call you and say, hey, play my son? All right, we'll play him. It's another clear example of get this guy out of here, man. On to the next one. Bring the guy in here who knows how to protect the brand of LSU football. Keep the conversations within the locker room. Mr. Protect the Team, right? Mr. One Team, One Heartbeat, right? First opportunity he gets to go blab into a microphone about private conversations with him, player, dad, coaches, it's out into the public. And yeah, it serves people like us well, gives us something to talk about, gives us something to react to. But if we're talking about the direction of the LSU football program and the leadership within it, that ain't how you run it. Right? I mean, isn't that simple, just kind of 101 stuff? Isn't that like show up on the day they give you the syllabus, like, hey, conversations that are had in a lot. I mean, isn't that football 101, the tough guy, macho stuff? We're not taking our business into the streets. Nobody's going to know about what's going on in-house. And the head coach is telling everybody what's going on. It just, man, it just was typical, right? I mean, haven't you come to expect that?
That's what I would ask you. Why is this bothering you? You're not surprised that obviously he stepped in it multiple times this year, but whenever he said the reason they didn't play Nussmeier, he had to answer that question post game. He says, well, we didn't want to burn his red shirt to only get him out there for a couple of plays, and then he has to come back and answer, after obviously that meeting happens, he has to give an answer why Nussmeier's going to play on Saturday if you see him. So he's getting out in front of it. Well, how he does it is his business because he's never been good at it. But he had to get out in front of it again, and this is his way to do it.
Because
do you air out the conversation? Maybe not. But
no, this simply is, to me, but Ed Orgeron is the guy that's always saying, protect the room, protect the team, one heartbeat. We're all kind of in this together. You know what I mean? And to me, that would be a huge red flag to people out in the public. That, like, Doug Nussmeier can just pick up the phone and sway you on playing time.
Well, I don't think he's swaying him on playing time. I think he's swaying him on the fact of, do you want your kid to redshirt or not?
Yeah, but
That's
I mean,
definitely
I'm the
a
head coach.
conversation.
I'm going to run the team, and we've come up with a decision of it's in the best interest for him, the program, and for the team to be redshirted, right? I mean, that was the discussion that was had last week.
Right.
That's where that status was last week. And, Garrett saw that he had an opportunity to affect the game. Very emotional kid. He's 18, 19 years old. He sees in the moment, and then he gets home and sees social media of people saying, put Nussmeier in, play Nussmeier. People telling him, man, you could have probably affected that game. And he goes in there on Sunday and says, I want to play. You know what I mean? I want to play. And just 3 days ago, they had the conversation of, look, it probably is going to serve you best if new eyeballs, somebody comes in here and you haven't burned a year of eligibility over 3 games, right? 3 games in the grand scheme of it that don't mean anything. They really don't mean anything.
Right.
And you've also got one more to play for the experience of that you can capture without the red shirt.
That's what I'm saying. It could go into, that could be Arkansas. That could be next week. And if it goes poorly, then it's like, look, all right, now see, clearly it's not your time. We gave you one more opportunity where it's not even considering you as like backup time. This is a chance for you to play extended minutes, extended snaps with a red shirt still in play. So that's why I think this isn't too overblown for him to be able to play in Arkansas. And if it doesn't go well, you can sit him the last 2 games. It doesn't matter. But if he affects the game and he's good, then you can have the conversation of, all right, are we going to waste Nussmeier for two games that don't matter?
Hey, you plan it however you want to plan it behind the scenes. Nobody needs to know about it in the public. Nobody needs to be aired out on it.
That's going to happen with O,
Well, I mean, it's just like that. Like I was saying, the whole meaning of what I'm talking about is it's just another clear example of how unfit and disconnected he is to handling this position. I mean, it really is. I thought yesterday was so just distasteful. I mean, in the sense of you're a professional. You're the CEO of the company. You protect the brand. You are the front line of what goes on. And you're always barking about protect the team, one heartbeat. And the first chance you get to go air out a conversation between you and the player and you and the player's parent, that's why this is happening.
He's also, it seems like he's always deflecting. At this point, he doesn't want to take anything on the chest. He's not there's no more, it's on me, I'll get it fixed. It's, hey, I had the conversation with A, B, and C, and we decided we're going to do this. Or if you ask me about the football team, I think we're too bland. He's not protecting anybody at this point. He's telling you the God's honest truth, and while we thought he was doing that earlier, he's certainly doing it now.
It goes into another long list of examples of Orgeron along the way of why. Why tell people you didn't interview coordinators? Why tell people that you had a conversation with the quarterback's dad and that's what's really kind of spurring you to put him on the field? Why tell people that you had an emotional conversation with Garrett Nussmeier about why? Why tell people that Mason Smith is on crutches on a Tuesday? You know what I mean? Like, what is the benefit that you see airing all this stuff into the public when what's the benefit of saying in June of 2020 that your defense is already marketably better than it was in November of 2019 when you're arguably the best team of all time? What purpose is that other than it's just another example of, you don't get it. You just don't get it. You don't understand. I mean, there is a certain responsibility that comes with this seat in this position that almost should be understood, understood to the fact of we're not going to put stuff into the public that's going to hurt the brand. Like, there's an understanding there, right? Like, we get it. Like, we're not going to tell people, even if we didn't interview coordinators, let's not admit to that multiple times to the media. Let's not tell Alabama that Mason Smith is on crutches Tuesday of game week. Let's not say that people are out for the season when you don't have to declare them that. It's just another example. And again, I don't mean to pound on it, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, because I know that it's over, and that at the end of the season people are moving in different directions. But I just thought that from a professional and just a CEO level position that those types of things are naturally understood, and to see it just so disrespected again and, executed to a point where it's almost just comical, and it's not laughable about, because I'm sure that Doug Nussmeier is probably pissed off about that. You know what I mean? I'd imagine that he's probably like, man, did you have to say that? Now my kid's probably in the locker room dealing with a little bit of like, daddy called and got you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or even like, hey, man, the big Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks coach called in and told what to do almost. You know what I mean? It's a locker room. You know what I mean? It's a locker room. People are going to talk. People are going to have opinions. People are going to air that stuff out. And if the head coach is the one that's feeding the material, it's like one team, one heartbeat? For real? Protect the team at all cost? Is for real? We're all bought into that. It just, you're the one that comes up with that stuff. And then on Monday, after a conversation on Sunday, you're airing that stuff out? Like, where's the protection at, man? Where's the protection of the team, the four walls, the locker room? It just, maybe I'm off base, but in every locker room that I've been in, and I was pretty much raised in a locker room. That's where my mentality, that stuff is like, that is voodoo. Like, that is incomprehensible in a locker room, to air stuff out that happens in the locker room. In fact, did you hear the the Denver Broncos, Von Miller, some stuff came out that there was a Halloween party that had been planned, and a local radio host in Denver had Kevin Fant on, who's a backup tight end, I believe.
Noah Fant?
Noah Fant. And asked Fant on the spot, like, what's the deal with that? And he said, how the hell did that get out of our locker room? Was his first reaction. And then he kind of admitted it, but he was like, I still can't believe that this is on the streets.
That y'all know about this.
Yeah, that has broken the code of the locker room. We don't allow that stuff into the streets. And to me, this was,
That part I understand, but I would say he shouldn't have aired out the fact that he had a conversation with the father, but I understand why he did it in his mind, because he's protecting himself, because everybody is clamoring for Nussmeier, obviously, after the last few games by Max Johnson. And then he comes out and says, look, we wanted to redshirt him. That's why we didn't play him against Alabama, because we didn't want to waste it on a couple of plays, is what he, alluded to. And then it sounds like the conversation he had with Doug Nussmeier was, are you okay with this? Do you want this? Do you want your son to play, or do you want to save the red shirt? It's how I took it in my mind. And he was almost asking for the dad's blessing, your son can play. We have snaps for him now. If you want him to get these snaps in, we can do it if you're cool with it. And he was like, hell yeah, let Nuss cook. Yeah. And so that's how I took it. But I certainly agree with you in terms of, if you're the other guys in the locker room, it's like, oh, daddy had to call and see if you could play. I could see how it could be spun that way. But when Nussmeier gets out there, I'm sure that'll all go away, because he can ball.
Cajun Ready Mix brings you the Jordy Culotta Show daily here, CajunRMC.com. Remember, over at Cajun Ready Mix, they've got 9 local plants around the area. And what that means for you as the customer is that they'll get your concrete to you on time to the exact specification. Find them online at CajunRMC.com, whether it's a residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal project. They're ready for you this morning. Easy phone number. You can type this into your contacts if you're a contractor, if you are working in construction, or if you're just somebody who needs a job done around the house. You need to repair the driveway. Get in touch with Cajun Ready Mix. Cajun Ready Mix Concrete is online at CajunRMC.com, and the phone number, very easy, 225-372-5060. 225-372-5060 is where you can find Cajun Ready Mix Concrete, as they can take care of all your concrete needs online at CajunRMC.com. Coming up, we'll talk to Will Wade an hour from now, or just a little under an hour from now. He'll be here at 8 o'clock this morning. 7:30 in a couple of minutes, we'll talk to McNeese head football coach Frank Wilson, who lost another heartbreaker over the weekend to Nichols, as Nichols was really struggling on offense. In fact, they sat Lindsey Scott in that game on Saturday. We'll talk to Coach Wilson about that, as his team is gearing up to finish the season. Another thing was watching Texas San Antonio. Roe and I were over here on Saturday night watching some football, and Texas San Antonio popped up, and they're undefeated right now, and you can see just the wealth of talent that has been left behind by Wilson and the crew over there, as they fell 24-14 on Saturday did McNeese to Nichols, but you can see that the cavalry is on the way for sure at McNeese. If you look at Texas San Antonio and the way that roster is built, that's all pretty much all. The majority of it is all Frank Wilson and what he's left behind. Tonight, LSU basketball tips off the season. They will get going versus UL Monroe. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off. We will be there. Noah will be covering the game. Jordan will be courtside taking some pictures and getting some video. Flag football playoffs start this afternoon for your boys, so I'll be a little late walking up. First game starts at 5:30. Feeling good. Got the 2 seed. Got the 2 seed going in. We win today. We're in the semis on Thursday with the championship game to follow on Thursday night.
So only one game tonight.
One game today. Quarters at 5:30. Feeling good about the draw. We should be okay.
Have you played them already?
Played them twice.
2-0.
Played them twice. 2-0. So we like the draw. But after the flag game, we'll head over to the Maravich Center for game number 1 of LSU and UL Monroe. As we said, 7 p.m. $5 tickets for the walk-up. Free food for students, so a lot of promotion to get people there, and I think it's going to be a pretty rowdy environment. I think everybody's kind of looking forward to this basketball season. Yeah, I think the combination of this team being very excited and very well put together in the off season, and a lot of people wondering what Efton Reed's going to look like and Brandon Murray's going to look like, and some of these new guys, even the faces that are returning. Eric Gaines is going to look a little different from the weight that he's put on. Alex Fudge, a name that we've heard about. And some of these guys, what they're going to look like, and that combined with just the struggles of LSU football, I think has got a lot of people pointing towards the Maravich Center tonight to open up the season with LSU and UL Monroe. And as we said yesterday, and I can't find a lot more to say than I did yesterday. Just based around, it's going to be a very exciting team to watch, man. It's going to be a very fun, energetic, a team that gets up and down the floor, a team that has depth, so they'll be able to sustain 40 minutes of play at a very high level. And from Will Wade's point of view, and we'll ask him this and get more into this with him coming up here at 8 a.m., this team seems to suit him a little bit more comfortable than prior teams. Not to say that look, he doesn't. You'll take a Trendon Watford, you'll take a Nas Reed, you'll take a Tremont Waters, you'll take a superstar every single day, right? But this team doesn't have that face, doesn't have that guy, doesn't have that dude that is the real superstar of the team. I think Xavier Pinson, Efton Reed, even a guy like Brandon Murray who can get hot and get you 30 on a night, will have opportunities to be, leaders on this team, even as young guys. Pinson kind of being the outlier to the young group, but it's just going to be a real good, deep basketball team that they kind of hit you in waves, and that every position's 2, some 3 deep, that they can get out and guard. And they can put pressure on opposing teams' offenses, and they're always going to be able to score, right? Every year Will has been here, every team that he's rolled out, they can score it. They can fill it up. A lot of his teams will just roll out of bed and get you 80. But like we said yesterday, anytime you take 23 points out of any lineup, it doesn't matter if if it's the Golden State Warriors or the LSU Tigers. That is going to put a dent and affect your productivity and efficiency. And Adam Miller being dinged up and knocked out for the season with a knee injury in preseason camp, it's devastating, really. It sucks. You can overcome it, but it's just tough to overcome that. And they've got some guys that they'll try to fill it up, not, kind of divided up. But, it's going to be tough to replace what Miller just brings every day. You're not going to be able to replace it, what he brings to the locker room and both sides of the ball. But it's going to be a fun, deep, exciting team to watch play. And I can tell you, in watching a little bit of practice here leading up to tonight's tip-off, is that there is a heavy emphasis on on defense on this team. And I took a friend of mine, actually a client of ours, over there to practice Daniel Newman of Edward Jones, who wearing the sweatshirt today. Remember, Daniel Newman's out in Central. He's our financial advisor, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. And the day that we were there, and I've been to probably 5 practices since they've opened it up and really started running. The one practice that I went to, I brought Newman with me, and that was the day that they really didn't do any defensive work. And he was just a ball of stress. Just like, we're 30 minutes in. They hadn't done a defensive drill. What's the deal here? Do they not practice the? I'm like, they do. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe they're. And this was actually the day after Adam Miller was hurt. The day after. Miller was sitting on the side. His leg was propped up. He was on the chair. He was just depressed. The mood was down in the room. It was just a somber place to be. So I can't explain that, but every practice that I've been to, they're working on rotations, they're working on communicating, they're working on closeouts, they're working on man-to-man defense, they're working on how to defend the zone correct. They are defending the in and out of bounds, the side outs, the under the goals. They are working in transition. Transition defense has been a big emphasis every time I'm in there. Get your backs turned around before 4 seconds. They're counting out 4 seconds after the shot and after the possession. And if it's a turnover and a changeover, he wants everybody's back and butts to the baseline that they're defending in 4 seconds. So that is a sprint down the court, turn around and stop the ball, right? If you're not turned, run, hit the whistle, give them on the clock, get them out. You got to get down here in 4 seconds. He is
we can do it all day, boys.
Their ass, to get back on defense. So there is an emphasis put on that side of the ball, and we'll ask him about that specifically coming up here in a couple of minutes. But Frank Wilson's going to join us here in a minute. Wilson and the Cowboys, obviously, coming off of a tough loss last weekend, and we will talk to him about the week ahead, as we love our conversations every week. With Frank Wilson, as this weekend, Coach is going to play, who is that? They're going to play Houston Baptist this weekend. They're traveling over to Houston for a 2 o'clock kickoff. We'll talk to him about recruiting, about the state of his program, a couple of tough losses and how they bounce back this week, coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show, that's brought to you and driven every day by Go Chevrolet. We're also brought to you by Falaya Real Estate. Remember, over at Falaya Real Estate, you can get in touch with Barrett Blondo and the crew over there. If you're looking to sell your home, they're selling the home very differently. You get exposure on MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, and all the major sites, virtual tours, which is very different than for sale by owner. Falaya puts the power of selling your house into the homeowner's hands. This is sell your house by yourself, save thousands. You can do it yourself for selling your house. Welcome to Empowered Real Estate here by Falaya.com. When we come back, we'll talk to Frank Wilson of McNeese, their head football coach, next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Stick around. We'll talk to Will Wade. It's opening night for the LSU basketball team coming up here. They will tip off at the Merritt Center 7 p.m. this weekend. McNeese State's heading over to Houston Baptist as they'll take on Houston Baptist, the Huskies. That'll be a 2 o'clock kickoff for the Pokes. Another tough loss for the Poke, and I was watching the McNeese State game versus Nichols on Saturday, caught some of it. Coach not only had to go up against the Colonels, and I don't want to get the coach in trouble here, and I'm going to give him an opportunity just to kind of come in here and talk about his team because they fought hard and they really deserved to win that game, man. But a couple of phantom calls, including an offensive PI at the end of that one, looked like he was fighting a lot more than the Colonels at home on Saturday. It's always good to talk to our guy, Frank Wilson, who is doing tremendous work down at McNeese. Every Tuesday we invite him into the conversation, and he comes in with us. It's good to talk to you, Coach. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Always, Coach. You fought your ass off on Saturday. Your team did. I thought you guys deserved to win that game. That was a tough one to watch as a McNeese State fan because it didn't look like you were getting a fair shake at it. You had to be proud of the way your guys competed.
I was. I thought we did some really good things. We improved tremendously in some areas of the field, particularly in the tight red zone area where we were 3 for 4 on the day. Was good on fourth down, 3 for 4 on fourth down. A little misleading on third because we knew a couple of times we were going to go for it on fourth. But in actuality, those conversions on fourth had us 7-12 on third down conversions. Jordy, the one that is that's big for us, man, is first and 10, P and 10. And it was early in the year we were dismal at it, averaging almost probably less than a yard per on that first and 10, P and 10 situation. I think we averaged 6 yards, 7.8 maybe on first down. So it put us in a lot of really advantageous situations on schedule that allowed us to be in position to score. I thought our defense played lights out against a very talented Lindsey Scott and Nicholls State football team. We felt we had control of the game, and then and this middleweight that I've talked to you about before, that we put so much emphasis in, and that's the second quarter, the last 4 minutes of the game. In the third quarter, the first 4 minutes of the game, and something we had improved on and conscientiously worked on, and here we are. We're up 7-0 in the second quarter, 3 minutes or so left. About to go down to score, and a rough one that's just hard for me to understand. A bang play, a vertical with a slant underneath it, and their corner drove on it and hit our receiver. And you thought it may be targeting or pass interference. We all did, so the flag was thrown, and a guy who ran the vertical was flagged for what was pass interference. That was a critical down for us on this second down play that set us back, and it started an episode of a couple of more penalties, ultimately giving Nichols the ball back right before half. They go down and score. Now it's 7-7, swing the momentum. They get the ball back in the third quarter and then score again. So now it's 10-7. So a huge momentum swing in that critical part of the game, which we call the middleweight. That's not always talked about, but it's a real deal. It's a real deal. The end of the second, the beginning of the third, especially if the opponent or yourself is getting the ball back to play well in that situation. It was a momentum swing for us at that time. We continue to fight, put ourselves back in the game. It's a 7-point game, and we get them the third down 4 times, and each one of those times we had a penalty that allowed them to continue to go down with their drive. And eventually they scored, and we get the ball back and run out of time and not able to score, and we drop a close one by 10, 24-14. Take nothing away from Nicholls State and Coach Rebo and his team and his staff. They played hard, but it's a hard one to swallow.
Yeah,
it's a hard one to swallow when it's 13 for 180 and the opponent is 3 for 20.
Oof.
It's difficult to swallow. But proud of our football team and the way that we competed on the night.
And look, I don't want to walk into the trap here, but is there action points that you can take on that? Because I watched that game on Saturday, Coach, and that play that you just explained, that phantom offensive PI, it looked very peculiar from the guy that threw the flag, was coming right from Rebo's area. The commissioner of the league was on the sideline. I don't want to talk about that, but do you have action points that you can take just to voice your just kind of like, hey, man, what is going on here?
Well, there's a standard, and anytime there's questionable calls, the head of officiating association for our conference, it's a norm to send in plays that you have questions or concerns about just to be addressed. We went through that procedure naturally, and we got a response back that I prefer not to deliberate on. But, yeah, we expressed our concerns.
Frank Wilson, who's the head football coach over at McNeese, got the Pokes heading in the right direction here. Jeremy Hill is listening. He's inside the bunker on YouTube, says, what's up to my man Frank? Frank is one of the best coaches in the country. Shout out to number 33, one of the best running backs to ever come out of this state and had such a great run at LSU. Now hosting local radio here in Baton Rouge and doing a great job. So shout out to Jeremy Hill. Coach, I'm looking at your
Jordy, you gotta get me on the Jeremy Hill show.
That's easy,
the
Coach.
Fam, man.
That is the fam. That is the fan. What a class. Coach, I'm looking at your last 5 games, and I'm going back to Southeastern on October 2nd, where you lost by 3 to the Lions, who's probably the best team in your league. The next week, you beat Northwestern State with a really good defensive and real complete game. The next week, you may have beat the best team in the league in Incarnate Word, 28-20. Last Saturday, you fall by 3 again to Southeastern, so you played those guys twice really tough. And then you deserve to win the game on Saturday, I thought, against Nicholls State. You got to be proud of the last month of the season and the direction that the Pokes are heading in.
Yeah, we drew a tough card. We drew, we have this 2-game span that was unique in this season in the Southland, just with the conference alignment last year, and that'll happen again this year. But we drew the number 1, number 2 teams preseason in our conference in Southeastern and Incarnate Word. And so we played them both. One split with Incarnate Word, came and played Southeastern extremely well. A high-powered offense, a very talented team, and dropped by 3. So we've lost to them by a total of 6 points, 3-3. Dropped one this past week by 10, which was a much closer game. And you look at it statistically. Whether it's first down opportunities, whether it's rushing opportunity, we're about the same in passing in total, 367, 360. Both teams, we won a turnover battle there as well. We, took it away from them 3 times, gave it up once. A closely contested match against a very talented Nicholls team. And I don't think there's much gap when you talk about Incarnate Word, when you talk about Southeastern and Nicholls. It's really close, and we got a big one this week. With all due respect to Houston Baptist, just statistically and in the win column, those teams are ahead of us as well as Houston Baptist, and so we're shooting for the stars. They've been the pinnacle the last couple of years in our conference, and so we measure ourselves against the best team in the conference, and there's no more victories, but when you can beat an Incarnate Word team, when you can play by 3 on 2 different occasions, and even last spring by 5, we're not far off. We're right there. We're a player or 2 away, a couple of signing classes away to get us where we need to be.
In fact, if you want a good roadmap of what is in store for McNeese State football fans, check out Texas San Antonio. Rohan and I were watching football on Saturday night here in the studio, and Texas San Antonio came across, and that is a very talented football team that the majority of those guys were put together by Frank Wilson. You look at a lot of the playmakers on that team, and that is Frank Wilson's vision that got those guys to skip over teams like Oklahoma State, Texas A&M, and end up in San Antonio and really have the Roadrunners heading in the right direction right now, Coach. I know. I don't know. How is that point of view for you? Is that tough to watch? Is that proud to watch?
Proud.
Yeah.
Proud of it because, there was a vision, there was a plan. And those young men, they trusted our process, our vision. And when we left there, it wasn't I'm leaving, you all should transfer. It was it's the right place for you. And everything's pointing in the right direction, that you have a new $50 million facility that you're moving into that was raised on the shoulders and backs of your hard work. Don't leave now because great things are about to happen. And we spoke it to them. We shared with them that, one of them texted me. I would say to them, they're going to write great stories about you. You'll be the ones that take this program into a different view. It's a startup program. For us in New Orleans and Louisiana area, it would be similar to a UNO starting football.
Right.
It had not played football, had not been in a conference. And, Larry Coker, outstanding football coach from the University of Miami, was the first head coach there. They played a non-conference schedule and then practiced a year, and then we grabbed it by the horn. And back-to-back bowl qualifying years, went through some change with attrition and administration, but continue to recruit extremely well to put them in position to do the things they're doing now. And I think Coach Traylor has done a great job. I think and I have no ill feelings with him. He accepted the job, and he's done a great job down there. And the players are playing the way that we thought they would play. Tony Ball, who was with us at LSU, was my receiver coach on that staff. I talked to him yesterday. And, we take great pride and happiness in seeing the success of that football program and those young men.
UTSA football right now up and rolling as they just rolled over UTEP last time out, 44-23. They're first in the Conference USA Western Division right now. Frank Wilson deserves a ton of credit for the success of that program and really getting it up on his feet and road running that thing down the track. Houston Baptist this weekend, what are the challenges the Huskies provide to the Pokes?
They're like so many teams in our conference. They're dangerous because they have ability. Things haven't fallen their way throughout this season, but you look at them a fall ago, and they're a 3-point loss to Texas Tech. They beat a very good Eastern Kentucky team. They've been in the lead in first half of many games this year. Haven't been able to finish in some of those cases, or most of those cases, in win-loss column. But they're a very well-coached, talented team that do a lot of things that gives you issue because of the uncertainty of where they'll line up defensively, and have some skilled guys on their offense as well. Arguably the best kicker in FCS football. He's 100%. The leading tackler in the Southland Conference, and a solid football team. Respect that staff and that team for what they've done in this season.
One more, Coach, we'll get you out of here. Best of luck this weekend. Looking forward to our conversations every week here with Frank Wilson. Make sure you're following the Pokes on social media and keeping up with McNeese football. And remember, every Tuesday, Coach Wilson is here with us. You've been the associate head football coach at LSU. You know what it takes to run this program. Scott Woodward is looking for the next man. In your opinion, what's the pedigree? What's the formula and what he's looking for?
Yeah, it's one of the few places in the country that's blue blood. You got a handful, literally, that can win and compete for the national championship every year. And LSU is one of those programs, evident by style of play and last week's game, with so many guys missing, still having enough to go compete at a very high level with arguably the best team in the country, if not one of the best teams in the country. And so a guy that's seasoned and understands the fertile recruiting grounds of the South of Louisiana, a guy that can capture the state, that can put a fence around Louisiana and allow them to continue to do what they've done. With the previous head coaches they've had. I thought Coach Ed Ogeron did a phenomenal job in recruiting, and of course in 2019, arguably the greatest college football team ever. Mm-hmm. I thought Coach Miles did a good job once he took over, and of course Coach Saban, and on and on and on. So it's been 3 head coaches who've knocked it out the park and capturing a national title I think a guy who has that same vision and insight and understanding how important it is to continue what they've done from a recruiting standpoint will allow LSU to continue to bluster.
Coach, can you give an idea of just how talented the state of Louisiana from a recruiting standpoint is, and how many times you've seen cycles get LSU football or just even McNeese football back on their feet by just attacking the state ofLouisiana, and how fast that can happen in your world? I mean, you're probably the best recruiter in the world.
For example, we, for us, we go from here and what we call east from here, I guess southeast Louisiana, and then we go back up to the northern parts and the west. So from Shreveport all the way down to Grand Isle. Wow. Yeah. Is our stretch, Belchase and Grand Isle. So that's the top of the tip of Louisiana, all the way down to, I'm talking Cotton Valley, right on the tip of Arkansas, Shreveport, right by Dallas, and then back down to the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah. They're all in between there, from Port Sulphur, Belchase, and everywhere else in between to Shreveport, Bossier, et cetera. I think you can win at a high level, and I think there's enough in this state for the state schools to recruit. As you look at LSU, you look at Lafayette, you look at Tulane, you look at Louisiana Tech and Nichols. Majority of all of our rosters come from the state of Louisiana. And so that just put in perspective, there's a lot of college, Division I, FBS, FCS schools in the state of Louisiana. And considering when you talk about total number of people here, that's a lot of colleges here, and yet all have enough. There's enough players here where we could all do extremely well, and I think that's the recipe for success. When you look at the more talented teams in this state, whether it's Southern of Baton Rouge, whether it's LSU, whether it's Nichols, McNeese, Southeastern, they've done it with kids from the state of Louisiana. To me, hands down, the most fertile recruiting ground in the United States when it comes to high school football.
That is coming from maybe the best recruiter in college football, and Frank Wilson, or at least has the reputation of being one of the best ever to do it, and certainly out of the state of Louisiana. I felt like I heard fax machines going off in the background during this interview as we were talking. Frank, have a great day. Best of luck this weekend in Houston, and always look forward to our Tuesday conversations.
Appreciate you guys. Go Pokes.
Yes, sir. There he is. Frank Wilson, Go Pokes, checking in from Lake Charles this morning. Always excellent insight. We appreciate that conversation. Brought to you by City Cafe. Remember our crew over at City Cafe for lunch today. They've got lunch specials. Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda behind the bar. Tell Dirk hello. As if you want to go in there, check out fresh cooked raw oysters, char-grilled oysters, lunch specials, and, of course, Sunday brunch. And remember, they're hiring over at City Cafe, so if you're looking for work in the food business, in the restaurant business, whether it's managerial, front of the house, bartender, kitchen, they've got them all open over at City Cafe. Get in touch with them, citycafebr.net, or stop in and see them on the corner of O'Neill and George O'Neill, where they've been for over 100 years. 100 years in business, man. That is a small business that has been ticking for 100 years, over 100 years. So gives you an idea about the stability over at City Cafe. citycafebr.net, where good friends meet. Stop in today and check out lunch and tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. 9 minutes from now, we check in with General Will Wade as he is gearing up here on this game day. I got to imagine it was a jog on campus this morning. How much has he thought about rotations? How much has he thought about minutes? Has he also remembered that there's only one basketball with this offensive team? How are you going to spread the wealth with all this talent? We'll ask him all of it coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. What's up?
You think he's a music guy or audiobook? What do you think he does?
Probably audiobook.
John Wooden's 10 Pillars
absolutely.
of Success.
Yeah, some type of breathing exercises. Yes. Shout out to Lucas Hopkins for the $50 super chat donation.
Thank you, sir.
Here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you for listening.
For Lucas.
It was, buddy. Thank you for supporting the show. Everybody out there, thanks for interacting with us. Make sure and like and share it. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show live here from the UDL on this Tuesday morning. Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Abear's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. Two spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Abears combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. Welcome back here to a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Every time William Wade stops by, that is compliments of Phil's Oyster Bar. Stop in and check out Phil's Southdown Shopping Center. Anthony and the crew ran into his wife at the, she was a part of the Best Dress Ball over the weekend. Shout out to Phil's Oyster Bar, who brings us Will Wade every time the General shows up here, and it is game day, a beautiful game day. First question off the top, on a day like today, we know that you're running every day. Do you go treadmill or do you run through campus?
Treadmill this morning.
Okay. All right. Is this a game day routine?
Yeah, I'm a little superstitious on game day, so I run the same amount on the treadmill every morning.
Damn, it's a beautiful day. Who talked you into dressing up like a general?
Oh gosh. It was a collective effort. They sent Nelson because they felt like Nelson had my director of ops, Nelly Hernandez. They sent him to make the ask because I think they felt like he had the best chance to convince me to do it. But it's been kind of so we started about 6 months ago. We started a group called Basketball 365, basically where we're going to think and talk and worry about basketball year round. Stephanie and Matt Laborde, Stephanie Remp and Matt Laborde started it. And there's about 15 folks in the group. And, Dave Haskin, our director of marketing, Cody Worsham, and Emily Dixon from Creative, and Nelson, they kind of got together and came up with this idea. Tommy Kalous, one of our managers, our first year, he's the one who made the original kind of General Wade, the Photoshop or whatnot. And so they kind of came up with the idea, and then they sent Nelson to get me to go along with it. And I guess Nelly caught me in a moment of weakness.
So you initially, like, you were all in from the jump.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they sold it. I mean, look, I'm for anything that helps engage our fan base, get more people to the arena, helps us, get a home court advantage for our players. Like, I look at everything. Brittany, my administrative assistant, she always asks me, do I need to put this on your calendar? And she goes, I already know the answer. Does it get us closer to winning or not? That's how I look at everything. So if it can help us win, and I can see that it helps us win by getting more people engaged and getting more people to the PMAC, then I'll typically do it. If I don't see any value in it helping us win, I don't do it. And so Nelly knew how to approach me with it. And we said yes. And the first take, the hat was terrible. So I made him go get a new hat. The hat was just awful. The first hat they ordered. So we had to go get they ordered like 2 different style hats, and we settled on the one you saw.
It's beautiful, and I think that's why the LSU fan base is so in love with the General and Will Wade, is because he gets it, and he's going to put a product on the floor tonight that is going to be easy to embrace. I know that you got some happy hours, some $5 tickets, free food for students, but I expect a pretty rowdy atmosphere just by the feedback that we're getting on the show and just kind of being out in the streets. What do you expect the environment to be like tonight on opening night?
Well, we're hopeful. We had great turnout. We had a Greek day last Thursday, where we took all the presidents and the folks and the fraternities and sororities. We bought them lunch at walk-ons and just engaged them in some different ideas, and they were fired up. We had about double the amount of people come that we thought would come, but I guess free food will do that. Yeah. And so, I'm hopeful that the student section will be great. We're at about 7,000 season tickets. I was texting with Dr. Jones and with the Bingle Brass and the band. I know they're ready to rock and roll. So, I think it'll be a great atmosphere. I told our guys that last night. That was my parting message to our guys last night before we left the hotel was, let's have fun. Like, this is the first time, even in Wani and Gaines and those guys, really outside of Days and Parker, nobody else has experienced a great atmosphere in the PMAC. And let's enjoy it. This is why we work. This is why we do what we do. And let's enjoy it. Let's play hard. Let's play with great attention to detail. And let's play for LSU.
How do you look at things like new players and new faces? Like, are you excited to see how people will compete tonight? Are you looking forward to rotations? What is your mindset going into a game day where you're going to see things for the first? I know you guys scrimmaged Baylor and had a couple of private scrimmages, but now in a competitive environment, are you curious about things that how they'll look this evening?
I mean, somewhat. I got a pretty good idea. I mean, I've got a really good idea how we're going to look. I think most of the guys, we've seen them through an exhibition in front of fans. We've seen them, in a closed scrimmage setting. So I've got a pretty good feel. We've got a pretty good rotation. We've finally been able to practice with basically our top 8 guys the last 3 or 4 days without a lot of interruption. So I feel like our rhythm will be a little bit better. And, we've got our rotation down. There's not going to be a lot of guessing on the rotation and how many minutes this guy's playing. I met with everybody on Sunday and said, here's how much you're going to play. Here's how much you're going to play the first 30 minutes of the game. And based on that, we'll determine the last 10 minutes of the game. And here's your responsibilities for us this year. And, we went through all that. So I feel like we've kind of done a lot of that stuff earlier than we typically do it. A lot of times in the non-conference, I'm playing 10 or 11 guys trying to figure things out. Like, we're going to play an 8-man rotation tonight. The least amount of minutes will be 15. Most of them are going to be between 22 and 28 minutes. and we're going to roll with those guys, and they all know what they're playing. They all know their expectations, and I have a lot of confidence they're going to be able to get the job done.
It'll be a first time for people to lay their eyes on Xavier Pinson, the point guard who transferred in from Missouri. He was a preseason All-SEC team nodder. He got the nod for All-SEC team preseason. What do you expect from him in game one, and how has he been running that position?
Well, he's just a calming influence. He's always in control when he's out there on the court. He's just got a very, 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 very calming presence to him. He's a very good shooter. He's very good at attacking off ball screens, attacking mismatches, being able to read different screening actions. And so I think he's somebody that, we've had really, really good point guards here, from Tremont to Javante and Skylar somewhat. Skylar played on and off the ball for us, but we've had some great point guards, and I think X will certainly continue that.
Mwani Wilkinson, I think in watching your practices over the last couple of weeks, it is evident to see his improvement and his confidence. What has been the biggest change from year 1 to 2 from the Las Vegas native?
I think you hit on. He's just more confident. He's more sure of himself. He knows he can do it at this level, and he's just he's become an offensive threat. That was our challenge to him in the offseason. It's just work on your game so much that you're an offensive threat. You don't have to be we're not asking you to be Cam Thomas, but make an open corner three, being able to hit a pull up, being able to drive it in there 1 or 2 dribbles and rise up and use your athleticism to score over folks. And he's he's shown in our exhibition and our scrimmage that he can do that. And I think our fans will see that tonight.
It has been cool to watch the Gold Standard, which is a cool behind-the-scenes look of just what you guys have going on every single day. I imagine that helps you reach out and touch recruits, or at least the young people that's where they live and operate, on YouTube and their phone in the digital space. How have you seen the advantage of that? And that's pretty cool behind-the-scenes look of LSU basketball. Coach? Coach Wade?
Yeah, you're breaking up. Sorry. Yeah, Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. Did you
hear talking about the Gold Standard? I lost you.
I loved it. Just the decision to give that access, and I got to imagine that really puts you in front of a lot of recruits, because that's where they live, on their phone in a digital world.
Yeah, it was another part of the Basketball 365. Garrison Floyd is a videographer we hired. And he's just done a phenomenal job with Emily and Matt and those guys. Like they've done a tremendous job. But yeah, you got to give up some access. And really, our players kind of talked me into that. One of our new kids, Ace, came up to me after we finished some of our road games this summer. He's like, "Coach, all these other teams are putting stuff out on video, and we're working so hard, and none of our stuff's out there." And I was like, "Well, Ace, if you got to show everybody what you're doing, you're really not doing it." That's kind of been my philosophy. But then that was what I told him in the moment. Then I went back and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? He's right. Like these guys want to be, rewarded for their effort, or at least be able to show everybody their effort. So, and Garrison and the 365 group kind of came to me with the Gold Standard, and so we've gone with it. But it's been great. Our guys have enjoyed it. That's the main thing. Like I said, it helps our players. Our players have enjoyed it. Certainly, I think it helps recruiting. It puts a narrative out there of what we do and how we do things in the program. And so it's been good so far. I think it's been well received from what they tell me. They give me all these updates on all these Twitter stats and Instagram stats and how many views and how many live interactions and all this stuff. So it looks like it's been well received, which is good.
It's introduced the world to overtime fudge.
Yeah, we call them that because Overtime's that media company. I got to give myself credit. I'm the one who came up with the nickname, but he has such crazy dunks and such crazy plays. Overtime's the high school media company, and so I started telling him sometimes, Fudge, we play on like ESPN, not Overtime, so you can't. We got to make the simple play sometimes, not all these highlight plays, but. He could certainly make some. Highlight plays.
Last one, I'll get you out of here on your personnel. Speaking of highlight plays, it looked like Tari Eason was making a bunch of highlight plays back in mid-October when you went to Nichols for the scrimmage and he had 22 and 15. It feels like he's a little bit different than people that saw him at Cincinnati. I mean, he's really seen his game evolve here in Baton Rouge. Did I lose you again? Coach?
What's happening?
Coach, did I lose you again?
Coach.
Hey, I lost you again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me now?
Just about
Tyrese.
And he's just, he's worked extremely hard on his game. He is a lot different than Cincinnati. I think he came here for some of our player development and just the one-on-one work. And he's an extremely, extremely hard worker. He's a talented player to begin with, but he's an extremely hard worker. And he's worked on expanding his game to three and being able to make threes with consistency. He shot it well in our exhibition and in our scrimmage. And so that's something he's going to continue doing. When you shoot it well from three, it opens up the rest of the court. He was already good around the rim, rugged around the rim. That's why he averaged 8 and 6, 8 and 7 in the American last year. And so, he's somebody that's going to be a huge contributor, and a great player for us this season.
Boot up, baby. We'll see you at the PMAC tonight. Thank you for the time.
Boot up, guys. Day. Appreciate you having me on.
Always. Yes, sir. There he is, the general. Will Wade checking in on game day as LSU will tip it off tonight versus UL Monroe at 7 p.m. from the Maravich Center. It'll be good to see. As he said, he's got his rotations figured out. He's got an idea of what they're going to look like. So it'll be fun to watch them play, man. I can't wait to watch them play. All right, since we started that interview, we've gained 2 here in the studio. Jordan Peck has showed up as he is here, and of course the Carpool Queen has showed up here at the 8 o'clock hour. Dropped off the crew, no traffic. I'm suspecting as you showed up a little early.
I feel like I'm later. Actually.
Okay, later today. Okay. All right.
Not a time podcast, not a time YouTube show.
Guy.
The hell was happening there with the phone?
I don't know, dude.
It sounded like you could still hear the cars in the background, like he just wasn't talking.
Man, that's on Napier and Wade.
I'm not gonna blame Will Wade, but I might have to blame Will Wade.
Right. You on Bluetooth there?
Here's the basketball GA. Where's Jake? We gotta get Steinhardt on this thing. I think he can fix it.
GoFlow brings you that conversation with Will Wade as we said, every time Will Wade is here. Compliments of Phil's Oyster Bar, but we're brought to you by GoFlow IV and Spa. GoFlow IV and Spa, which is Baton Rouge's premier medical spa, specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. They're over there on Jefferson Highway. They can help you out with needs like chronic dehydration, athletic performance, illness recovery, hangover cures, chronic illness. If you're looking to hydrate your skin, you get a more youthful glow. Check out how they can help your skin, hair, and beauty care.
Lloyd? This sounds right up your vein-ass
Lloyd,
alley.
yeah, it does. Somebody who wasn't paying attention all show sure did prop up there.
I've been working over here. Now, I will say, phenomenal shower at your place, Katie. I don't know what all they got, all sorts of tinctures and creams. Well, because I am vain, but I was putting on everything that was in that shower. I don't know what any of it does.
I wish I had a shower cam.
But thank you. It was warm in there. But I just put on everything that looked like it was for a man. I was like, I'll put this on. I came out there feeling so good. I was like, this probably cost like $65. 2 shower heads in there.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost was late.
Love the multiple shower heads.
That's awesome.
So thank you, David.
Mama Bear, Maria Reed, Efton's mom, is going to be here at 8:30 this morning. She's going to be on the phone. Not here. But she is in Baton Rouge. And we're going to talk to her about her son making his debut tonight in college basketball, the 5-star Efton Reed, who, by the way, I was out at practice late last week, and he's going to be going to be a stud, man. You can't wait to watch him play. He's big, long, and fast. He is a guy that really offensively, he plays a little bit further out than of the rim than you would think because of his status and his size, but he's got a really good touch. His athleticism for his size, I think, is really what jumps off, the way that he can just kind of catch it running full speed, control it, get it to the rack. I mean, he's very under control for as young and as big as he is. I mean, he is a legit 7 feet.
More Nas Reed than Big B Williams? least offensively.
It's probably as Shaq told, as Charles Barkley told Shaq, that it looked like Zion was a kid that they had produced. It almost looks like Cavell Bigby Williams and Nas Reed have produced Efton Reed because he's a little longer and leaner, but he's got that thrashing type, play to him. But he's a little bit more finesse than Nas is. Yeah, Nas is gonna kind of, he wants to embarrass you. He wants to hurt you when he gets you within 5 feet of the rim. Efton can kind of gracefully break you down and have you jump in one way, and he's just going to easily lay it up off the glass on another way. You know what I mean? He's
big fundamental.
Big skill. Big skill. And he's lefty, which is a little unconventional, as somebody that size, how he plays. And he's...
Is it? Who else? Who's like another big name basketball player who is?
James Harden.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's definitely lefties. I mean, there's definitely lefties in the game, but a post player, a guy who can play on the block, is spinning away from the defense. And usually when you're guarding a right handle, you're used to guarding and taking away one side, one way of it. On a lefty, he can turn inside. It's just a little unconventional. It's like a left-handed quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a little odd. It's a little strange.
What looks better, left-handed quarterback throwing or left-handed jump shot?
Jump shot.
Left-handed jump shot's pure.
It's pure.
It is. I would argue Michael Vick throwing a football, there's nothing that can touch that. He could have been left-handed or right-handed, though.
Amen. I think that without question, Vick is the outlier of left-handed quarterbacks who just makes it look so simple.
70 yards.
But I mean, like a lot of them look like Boomer Esiason and Max Johnson, Steve Young, where you're kind of winding it up and kind of waiting on it to get
putting
there.
It out there. Matt Leinart for sure.
A lefty.
Is he really?
A big name. That's what he says.
Randy Lanois, the godfather of our show, is asking where Matuk is. Matuk is down in South Florida in Miami with his hitting coach.
Is he a lefty?
He's a righty.
He's a righty.
But
Don't test him, though.
He's down in Miami and is hitting with his swing coach, and he'll be here.
He has a real job or something.
Right, he'll be back on Friday. Eric Zeller's got a good one. Chris Bosch was a good lefty.
Yes.
On the block.
Have you ever heard of people changing their handedness?
LeBron James.
Yes, you know who did that was Wade Sims did that.
Really?
Wade Sims was as good with his left hand, rest in peace to Wade, was as good with his left hand than I called probably 70 high school basketball games of Wade from his sophomore to his senior year. We called every big game, all the district games, all the playoff games, state title games, and they three-peated during those sophomore, junior, and senior. Skylar Mays was a sophomore and junior, and then he transferred to Findlay Prep. And during that time, Wade, you almost lost track on whether he was left or right-handed.
But did he change like everything about his handedness? Like, did he change to where he was writing right?
Oh, I don't know that. But he was as skilled of a player with his left hand where you would question. I mean, like sometimes he would shoot free throws left-handed because he was just so strong and confident with his left hand. A lot of that's, I mean, if you go back and check out some of his high school highlights, a lot of the ways that he would finish would be around the rim. He would be with his left and he would dunk it with his left. I mean, it was, and you kind of saw that happen in front of your face. Like you saw him develop that, which I thought was so it was such a huge advantage for him. Like you could not, especially in high school. He had high school kids just like guessing. You know what I mean? And he was a walking and one. I mean, he was a walking. I mean, he would get to the free throw line nearly every possession because he'd have people jumping and coming down on him. I mean, it was great. I mean, he was. That would be the example.
LeBron grew up left-handed, and then he said he started shooting basketball as right-handed because that's how he saw it on TV. He's like, some bitches are shooting right-handed.
As an older person.
Well, no, when he was younger, he grew up left-handed. Then he played left-handed, and then when I was imagining like 6 or 7 years old, he's like, we're supposed to be playing, but he's ambidextrous now because of that. And Ben Simmons would be an example, but not a good one.
Yes,
he's left-handed.
He is lefty.
He's right-handed.
Hey, but he's all cattywampus.
Yeah, he needs to just shoot left-handed.
He doesn't know what
he needs to shoot.
He doesn't know what he is as far as a basketball
player.
Yeah,
at this point,
I mean, he's kind of lost. He's lost.
They tried to get Jaylen Brown from the Celtics for
I saw that.
They're just like
Jaylen Brown's like, are you kidding
me?
You can send me the franchise, maybe. I mean, is nothing with Simmons. I wouldn't take almost anything for Simmons. I mean, unless you're giving me Embiid and I've got to take Simmons.
Well, they don't want to play together.
No way. I mean,
you don't want them together.
No. I mean, it's crazy what Ben Simmons has become in the NBA. I mean, somebody that's so talented that's just unwanted.
It is. It's weird.
It is. And Brandon Hollingsworth says, anybody has watched the Warriors play? I have been watching, kind of peeking at the Warriors because Steph started the season on fire.
Still is.
Now, he's been knocked out, and last night, I mean, he's kind of been bouncing around, but last night he played well again.
Dropped 50.
Still doesn't have Steph. I mean, still doesn't have Clay. Still no Wiseman in the lineup. And Hollingsworth probably says it best. They're must-watch TV again. I mean, they are. Steph Curry, when he is like that, to me, he is one of those athletes that you'll stop anything you're doing and change over and just kind of shut down and watch what he has going on, because he can affect his craft, his sport, a lot like we were just talking about Michael Vick. He's just got that wow factor. He's got that just
such ease.
Look how easy he makes this shooting a basketball from 40 feet. Look. I mean, not only that, he's got it on a string when he handles it. His handles are super underrated. I mean, he's got the ball on a yo-yo. I mean, he kind of pulls it back. He controls the tempo. I mean, and when he gets into that soft, just kind of where it doesn't look like his feet are touching the ground, and his shot is just so pure, it is.
Talking about college basketball, dude. Him at Davidson, whenever they're on that tournament run, that was must-see TV because he looked like a child. He looked 15 years old, and he was lighting people up. You're just like, how is this happening? And then it just turned into this phenomenon where they moved him to point guard the next year, and he was shooting like 30 times a game, and he wills him into the tournament. And it was like one of the first times you watched a player, at least I was probably like 15 or 16 years old when that happened, and you're just like, you're seeing somebody absolutely from Davidson be able to go and beat Duke, be able to go like by himself, go and able to like take over tournament games. It was must see.
Something is going on with Harold Perkins in LSU. I don't know.
Bad.
Harold Perkins tweeted out 12 hours ago just the tiger emoji.
Saw that.
He wore the LSU gloves on Friday night. He's a Texas A&M guy. This is another kind of
smoking gun.
Makes me think that under the
Wait, when did he send the tweet, the tiger tweet?
12 hours ago.
Okay.
Last night.
But then he wore the gloves on Friday night. This guy's a 5-star game-changing linebacker. I mean, he's one of the best defenders in this recruiting class.
And he would play immediately.
Oh, he would play. I mean, he'd play Saturday.
Yeah.
If he was here.
Seems like Shay might have some info on that, huh?
We'll ask Shay about it coming up here at some point. We'll see when we can get Shay scheduled. But there is something with Harold Perkins in LSU that is going on behind the scenes that is obviously making him think or
what?
Yes, I mean,
he said it's home.
What a get
New
that
Orleans
would be.
Is where he's from. If Jimbo can haul in Harold Perkins and Walter Nolan, a big shout out Walter Nolan, great interview. If you haven't heard it, go back and find it. One of the
Big
best,
Walt,
one of the best we've done.
It really was.
If Jimbo has
God,
those,
it gives my skin is curling.
You heard more from his car blinker than you heard from Walter. But big shout out Walt, number one defensive tackle in the country. If Jimbo can bring those two in, would that change your tune towards Jimbo?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? I mean, what do you mean? Absolutely.
Jacoby Matthews.
Quincy Wiggins.
That's what, when you talk recruiting,
Yes,
Jimbo can keep the class together because a lot of them are LSU, A&M, Alabama. So Jimbo can make that push.
We get back here, we'll talk to Maria Reed, Mama Bear. Going to talking about the debut of Efton Reed here next on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. GoFlow IV and Spa, 7970 Jefferson Highway is where you can find them, or you can simply go online to goflowiv.com. GoFlow IV Spa is a medical spa that specializes in IV hydration with vitamin infusion. At GoFlow IV Spa, they can help you with a wide range of issues, from skin care to illness recovery, athletic performance, hangover cure, chronic illness, and even chronic dehydration. GoFlowIV.com or stop in and see them, 7970 Jefferson Highway. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Hebert over at Hebert's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Hebert's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to all of our sponsors, including Edward Jones. You see the sweatshirt today, and all of our sound is brought back to you by RMB Builders, rmb-builders.com for a great construction team. Rhett Bourgeois and his crew can help you out with a custom design home. They can help you out with any handy project that you have around the house, rmb-builders.com. Everybody looking forward to tonight, man. Basketball season getting underway at LSU. The Tigers open up the regular season versus UL Monroe. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off for you on campus tonight. And, man, there are lots to be excited about, including the debut of 5-star superstar Efton Reed out of IMG Academy, originally out of Virginia. And one of the highlight moments of our show, as we've only been up and operating here for about 9 months, was hooking up with Mama Bear, Maria Reed, the mother of Efton, early on in the recruiting process. And when Efton made his decision between LSU and Pittsburgh and other schools, and he chose LSU, we hooked up with Mama Bear right there. And got her on the phone, and she was awesome. I mean, her personality was awesome. We fell in love with her, and now we have her back here on the debut day, game day of LSU basketball. Mama Bear, it's good to have you back. Good morning.
Good morning. Mama Bear is here. How is everybody doing today in Baton Rouge, Louisiana?
We are doing good. We are looking forward to watching the Tigers play tonight. And notably, we're looking forward to watching Efton play. I've had the opportunity to see a couple of practices. And he is so impressive. He is so impressive to watch. What is it? What has your point of view been? What has been the feedback from him? How much is he looking forward to today, and how much are you looking forward to today?
Oh yeah, well we've worked for this moment. We've waited for this moment from the time he hit the court, and it's really special. We came in last night and we saw Efton. He looks good. He looks relaxed. He looks focused. Like he said on his Instagram, he said, "Don't need to say much. Yeah. You know what time it is. Straight business." So he's going to go out there and handle his business on the court.
He doesn't say much on the court, which is very impressive because his game is so loud. I mean, the way that he plays.
He is a big talker on the court. He is, and I've always, when we started this process, I've always said, you've got to talk. You've got to talk, and he's a leader. You'll see that tonight, where he'll be telling players, over here, or, he's always done that. So, hopefully, I'm pretty sure he'll execute that tonight. And, whether he's going to pick and pop, pick and roll, defend the perimeter, slamming on the rim, I'm excited to see what he's going to do.
Mama Bear's watched a lot of basketball.
He's going to shine his light among men.
Amen. What has the college experience been like for him?
It's been a great one. He was, I believe he was named, freshman of the month, student athlete of the month. He loves the campus. The food is great. He said everybody is just, very accommodating, very nice to him. I mean, this is not his first rodeo being away from home. Either he went to IMG Academy, and he was coached by Chad Myers. Wonderful coach, wonderful man. And, so it just makes it a bit more sweeter, you know what I mean? More experience that he's away from home.
You can tell.
And he comes down here to handle his business. He came here to do what he wants to do. He's been doing really well with his academics.
You can tell him and Brandon Murray have a real good connection, I guess because of their time together, right, at IMG?
Absolutely. Brandon, I'm really excited for him. He's a superstar in his own right. He's a great shooter. Unfortunately, really, I'm praying for Adam Miller.
Yes.
That he had his, his knee injury. But if it opens up the door, for Brandon Murray to, shine his light, these things happen. We're praying for Adam Miller and his family. Yes. But Brandon and Efton, they work very well together, and there's nothing like having chemistry. That is what you have to have when it comes to basketball. When you have that chemistry on and off the court, that makes it all, that makes it best. So they definitely have that chemistry.
It does seem like they have that chemistry. Can you tell us, Mama Bear, what it's like from recruiting a 5-star, right? Everybody in the country was beating down your door, was blowing up your phone, was text messaging you, DMing you, every big name college basketball coach. And LSU ultimately got Efton to come to campus. How does that communication with the coaching staff keep up after the recruiting process? What's the communication like with Will Wade and his coaching staff now that Efton is on campus?
I would say that, Will Wade, communication is key. He touches base with me, once a week. He is, and Coach Nickelberry, he sends me videos of Efton, so I can see how he's doing on the court, It's funny because a lot of people call me, they call me a helicopter parent. And I'm not like that. I trust the process, Will Wade and Coach Nickelberry, they've done what they said they're going to do, with Efton. It's a cohesiveness. It's a family, and I think that my whole recruiting thing was relationship matters. That's my initial spell backwards, and I think, Efton, as long as he's happy, Mama Bear is happy.
Amen.
Amen. I think that, Efton had that excellence. He had that passion. He loved, that was the biggest thing for Efton is that how LSU caught him and got him, and I hope everyone can hear this, is the relationship. You know, it's not about how big your school is. It's the relationship. And they believed in Efton, you know, and when you form that belief with a player, no matter how many people you've got knocking down your door, you know, that is what a player is looking for. I know that's what my son was looking for. You know, God can give you height. And, you know, I've heard it from coaches a million times over that, you know, you can't teach height. But one thing you can do is display a relationship. And that's what they did with Efton, because every time, you know, Will Wade talks a lot about that drive, you know, and what you want and how he sees Efton and the passion. And I think between Efton's passion and drive and Will Wade's, you know, determination to bring those talents out in him that he already had, that's what you call chemistry. And that is what I believe, you know, Will Wade was able to capture for Efton and his goals. You know, when he first met Efton, he said, "What are your goals? You know, and this is what I'm going to do for you to get you towards your goal." So I definitely think that, you know, the chemistry, you know, the outlook of the game. Efton has a lot of tools in his tool basket, you know, and everybody's going to see that tonight, I'm sure. You know, and Efton, he was always, to me, he's always like, you know, the silent sleeper. You know, you don't see him until he comes. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know he could do that. You know, and so I always tell him, and all his coaches have told him, you know, display your tools in your toolbox. You know, he's not a loud person. I raised him to be humble. He praises everybody else. He lifts up, you know, his friends, the players. He's happy for anybody, because I told him, what God has for you is for you. You know, you don't have to be loud, you know, with the Twitter, the Instagram, or social media. You know, just be yourself. You know, and I think that's how he knows he can do that. And his business on the court, that's what he was looking for. You know, and Will Wade said he can give that to him. That's the relationship. That's the chemistry.
That is a great testimony for recruiting and Will Wade and LSU basketball. What was the food that stood out? What was the best restaurant you've eaten at yet? I saw that you were asking around Drago's or Pyrane's.
Yes, but you know what? I went to Drago's. I love their grilled oysters. They were really good. Another great restaurant I went to is the Bullfish.
Yes, absolutely. You know, Southgate Towers.
The natural food that the chef makes there, the collard greens, they have the gumbo, all that good stuff. But I'm looking for something a little different this time. So I thought I would, you know, say, I haven't been to Parades. I haven't been there yet. But any suggestions anybody has, you know, I would definitely love to know. Because I want to taste that, you know, that great Louisiana style, you know, food. I don't get to come here, you know, too much often. I know that my sister, she ate at Ellie's, I think it's plate and pie.
Yeah, Elsie's.
She said the pot pies were awesome. She said, I'm going to try that seafood pot pie. So definitely, any suggestions anybody has, you know, Mama Bear loves to eat.
Well, we're going to make our recommendations. And look, she's on Twitter at Rebby8041. You can make your recommendations there. This is Maria, okay. Mama Bear. If you want to tweet at her and let her know that you're in town or where some cool places to eat, I'm gonna. We would need to take you to lunch one day when you're in town and find out what your travel schedule is, and we'll introduce you to a couple of places here locally that hopefully you fall in love with.
That would be fun.
Thank you as always for your time. We can't wait to watch Efton play. LSU faithful are really behind this team. As you said, you can tell that they have really good chemistry. And Efton obviously is one of those new faces that people can't wait to watch. And I know you're excited to be down in South Louisiana. And it's great to have you here, and it's great to have Efton on campus. And boot up.
Boot up. All right. And if you're going to be at the game, I would please introduce yourself.
I am.
I would love to meet you.
Yes, ma'am. We will. Thank you as always for your time. We'll talk again soon.
All right. You have a great time. Boot up.
Yes, that's what it is. Bye-bye. The Mama Bear, Maria to Efton Reed. Stopping in here on this beautiful Tuesday morning.
It is.
We need to get that Twitter handle changed to Mama Bear.
I know.
Yeah, we need that.
Somebody's got to do that. We got to get her in here.
Yeah, we do. We need to take her to lunch.
Yeah.
Phil's Oyster Bar.
Yeah,
for
Randy said Phil's.
For sure.
Definitely have to take her to Phil's.
We will definitely take her to Phil's. So that was good stuff, man. Get ready for tonight. Let us know. Are you going to the game? Are you going to be inside of the Maravich Center tonight? As we said, the flag football playoffs get going this afternoon at 5:30, which should give us ample enough time to make it over to the Maravich Center. Jordan's got a photog credential, so he'll be courtside, snapping some shots. Which, by the way, yesterday at the press conference, bro, that turned out fantastic.
Yeah,
that was
did.
beautiful work.
The back of your head shot that I got, I think that was.
Yeah, there he is. There's Jordan.
Yeah,
right. There's the guy from the Jordy Culotta show. But let us know. Are you going to be there? Are you going to be inside of the Maravich Center tonight? I think that it's going to be a pretty rowdy atmosphere.
I would imagine. The LSU fans are clamoring for something to cheer for, and this might just be it. I feel like there's a little bit of a swell in terms of everybody's a little excited about the football team again. Like there's just kind of good positivity around because, well, they didn't beat Alabama. And, they didn't get blown out. So that seems to be the new standard for LSU football this year. So I think you'll see good campus vibes Saturday, and I think it might start tonight with people excited just to finally see a winner.
Absolutely, man. Get out and support something that people are fired up about, right?
I mean if Will Wade's getting dressed up, dude, you got to think they got a special team. He wouldn't do that if they were a couple slouches coming in. He's got to think their squad's pretty solid.
No, he's confident.
Yes.
He's very confident. I think that they've done a great job of recruiting this bunch and putting them together. As we said,
I'm not gonna lie, the Adam Miller news
it
shook me to my core.
It sucks, man.
Because seeing how he was kind of
he embraced it.
He was taking over LSU basketball. He loved it, and for that to happen to somebody that you knew was all in just stinks out loud.
It does, man. And it was a freaky deal.
I know. The gold standard drug me back in though, just when I was out.
Yeah.
So wait, do you know what happened?
To Miller?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
basketball,
just a bounce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just one of those knee injuries in basketball that just freakish, man. It just, it's.
I couldn't imagine how quiet that gym was when that happened. Just,
can you imagine?
Practice is over. Y'all gonna hit the showers.
Only thing you're hearing is tears, hands slamming the ground, and mother effort.
I would cry if I watched
Absolutely,
that
you would. Yeah. Absolutely, you would. I think everybody in that arena cried out loud, like boo-hooed.
Big ol' F-bomb.
Yeah. But like Mama Bear said, and like I think Will Wade even alluded to, and like some of the video that we saw coming out from preseason stuff, like the softball and a lot of the team building, the paintball stuff, a lot of the team building exercises, this team has excellent chemistry. And on a basketball team, that is highlighted much more than it can be. Now, look, don't get me wrong. Like good teams that have good chemistry, you can feel it. You can see it. The 2019 LSU football team had great chemistry, right? They all got along. They all were cohesive. But on a basketball team, it's much more because there's only 15 of them, and they're much tighter, and it looks more compact. It looks more airtight when you see good chemistry in basketball. And sometimes you think you have good chemistry, and you show up to the game, and you find out you got shitty chemistry, right? But I think LSU's been tested enough. I mean, this is a team that scrimmaged Baylor in a closed setting 2 Saturdays ago. And by all accounts, I mean, they beat Baylor. They
the defending national champions,
yes,
if you forget.
Right, who has recruited well. And I know they had a lot of turnover over that national championship team, but I mean, it is, it gives you an idea where they're at. I mean, they've got a lot of confidence going into the season, and in situations like that, you test that chemistry. That's when good chemistry gets tested, is when you get into a situation where you got to find out, do we all like each other? Like, really? Like, do I trust that you're going to make this play? Do I really believe that the things that you've said you've been doing, that you've actually been doing, and I can trust to throw you this, pass you this, expect you to hit that shot, guard that guy, get that rebound, make that pass. That's where you find out really if you've got good chemistry. Like, it's easy to say we got good chemistry when you're blowing people out. It's easy to say you got good chemistry when you're hitting softball home runs in the middle of August. You know what I mean? It's do we have chemistry in February and you're down 8 and you need to get on a run over the last 4 minutes to win the game in Coleman Coliseum? Like, do we have good chemistry or not? Because teams that believe in each other and have good chemistry can embrace that run together. Last year's team, LSU, didn't have the best chemistry. You didn't know, is Javonte trying to get his? Is Watford trying to get his? Is Cam just not going to let anybody get any of theirs? You know what I mean? Like, that is, from a basketball standpoint, that's bad chemistry. That's chemistry that you look at and say, you know what? When it comes nut cutting time,
Cam's going to go ISO.
Somebody's going to say, you know what? Give me the ball, get out of the way, and I don't care if we win or lose. I'm getting mine. Right?
I think a lot of this chemistry was built on the away games. Because isn't that the same stress test that you want to put people under to see who I can trust, who I can follow on when you're doing these things that are, supposed to break you mentally and make you rely on other people than yourself. So I think that's why Will Wade was kind of pushing these away games, and you saw a lot of the video come out in the Gold Standard where they're working out, like Navy SEALs, and a lot of that stuff will get you to the, FU point where you want to yell at somebody or, take it out on somebody else when you're trying to do these things that are absolutely mentally excruciating. So at that point, I think the basketball becomes easy because they're already good at that.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what you want. You want the basketball to become easy.
Break them in a different way.
Absolutely.
Then, it's all right, this we can
right.
do.
So when
you
got them huddled up in the middle of March, you can say, fellas, this ain't August in the swamp.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I was trying to literally kill y'all. You know what I mean? This is nothing compared to that.
You've done the hard work.
Right. Just go out there and play basketball. You know what I mean? You're all good basketball players. You're all great athletes. Go embrace that and be excellent. You know what I mean?
I'm pumped.
Me too, man. Me too.
Are you going to the game tonight?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. It hit me last night. I was like, it just kind of snuck up on me because, like I said, the Adam Miller thing threw me for a loop. I was so pumped for him.
I know.
But I watched both the Gold Standards last night. It just took me all the way back. It's like they're just going to be. It looks like they're going to be so good.
And by the way, I think that Will Wade, the way that he addressed the Gold Standard, shows you and is a great example of his ability to coach and why he's good at his craft. Did you hear him tell that story about when the manager came up to him and said, "Coach, we're getting all this content. There's other programs that are doing this stuff. They're putting it out, and we can do it a lot better." And Wade said to him initially in the moment, if you got to show people what you're doing, then you're probably not doing anything. And he said, the more that I thought about it, the more I got away from it, the more I sat down and was thinking kind of, intellectually about it, he made sense. He's talking about a 20-year-old kid. You know that. He's talking about like a 20 or 21-year-old student at LSU who's the manager. And he came to the head coach with an idea of how we make the program better. And in the moment, the head coach says, "Get out of here." But who comes out and admits publicly, the more I thought about it, the more I sat down and said, you know what? He's got a good idea. That makes sense. Let's start doing this. And if you're watching the Gold Standard, that is the intent of what it is, to attract younger eyeballs, connect with recruits, and show you the behind-the-scenes access of LSU basketball. That way, if Mama Bear is curious about what the practice looks like when Efton's a junior, all she's got to do is click on the YouTube link and she sees it. And they're starting that relationship, which Efton Reed's mom just told you is what it's all about. Nobody was telling Efton Reed's mom or Efton Reed in the recruiting process anything different about basketball. You're going to be the centerpiece. You're the guy. We're going to build everything around you. You're starting day one. You're going to guard the best team's other player. Whatever you want it to be, Efton, you got it from a basketball standpoint. But what Mama Bear just told you, what won out was relationships. Not a strong-ass offer. Not a, how do we get this guy to campus? Not any type of thing under the table. Just relationship building. Just being able to trust somebody. Just being able to say, I'm going to do something, and being there when you say you're going to do it. And building trust with a mom, a family, a kid, a 5-star. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Julian Phillips in Florida that they just got committed 2 weeks ago, or it's Efton Reed who they got committed 8 months ago. At the baseline, she just told you what it was, and he just gave you a display of why he's great at it. What do you think that did for that kid when he went back to him or called him that night and said, you know what, man, my bad how I reacted in the moment. You're right. Run with that. That's a great idea. Can you imagine what that does to a 20-year-old? Can you imagine what that 20-year-old's going to say about Will Wade working for him 5 years from now? Can you imagine now the bond and relationship that was strengthened between the head manager on the program and the basketball coach and the head basketball coach? Oh, that doesn't matter. The hell it doesn't. Everybody's got an open line. Everybody's got an open door. Mama Bear just said, he said he was going to keep in touch with us one time per week when he got here. She says we talk one time per week. She loves Will Wade. She loves the way he communicates. She loves the way he runs his program. You don't think that makes waves with recruits at IMG Academy, where Efton was last season? Hey, Maria, how's your LSU experience going? LSU's blowing us up, too. They're fantastic. Everything Will Wade told me he was going to do, he does in spades. He goes above and beyond to make sure not only Efton's experience, but my experience has been tremendous. If I had to do it all over again, we'd do the same exact thing. Thank you. That's a lot more powerful than Will Wade writing a letter or sending a note to a kid. And that's where Will Wade's beating everybody. And that's what kills Pat Forty. And that's what kills Glenn Guilbeau. I mean, I read Guilbeau's piece. That I like Guilbeau. Me and Guilbeau are friends. I mean, I know that pisses a lot of people off, but that pissed me off what I was reading, what Glenn put out. I mean, it was just such a copy and paste from Colin Wade stupidly not cooperating with the NCAA and LSU. Look what happens when you do cooperate over at Oklahoma State, Glenn. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Are you in that need of clicks where you put that trash out there, where you copy and paste the story and give me no new information, but the headline says that this is circling around Will Wade and he's about to lose his job? Get a clue. Get a clue. Talk to somebody up there that means anything. They've told the NCAA now for 10 months, if you've got a bullet, shoot it. Otherwise, get the hell out of here. You could come back and interview everybody you want. You can dig into phones. We'll give you records. We'll give you everything that we've given you the past 2.5 years. If they don't have it by now, they ain't getting it. And what they're hoping and praying to happen is, and this is not coming from me, this is coming from an LSU official, is that they're hoping they can bully and build up the bad PR enough where Woodward, Ausberry, Rimpf, somebody in that executive team at LSU says, this is too much. Pull the plug. Just fire him. We don't have anything on him. Yeah, but who cares? The PR is just so bad on it. They're claiming that he paid 11 players. 11 players. You think if they had any type of evidence on one player, his ass would be coaching high school basketball. 11. Get the hell out of here. Where are they? Who are they? What school are they at? They're at LSU? Who? When? Where? How? Where did you get that? Where is that? Well, you said strong ass offer. Yeah, but that didn't mean anything. They got that. You don't think that they've dove into that strong ass offer comment and audio and all that stuff? All they can pull out of it was that he said it was a strong ass offer, but there's no offer. It's just it's insane, man. I mean, to read that stuff by accredited journalists. Again, I love Glenn. Would tell this to Glenn to his face, and he knows it. We would laugh about it, but that's trash. It's trash. There's nothing in there. There's no news. There's no information. It's just a copy and paste from articles over the last 2 years with, oh, yeah, and by the way, the NCAA spent 48 hours in Baton Rouge 3 weeks ago. What'd they get? I don't know, but they're going to put out their notice of allegations here shortly. Yeah, you've been telling me that for a couple of years now. We'll just continue to wait on those notice of allegations. Well, they started a new arm of the NCAA that's dealing with the development cases, the difficult case strategy, blah, blah, blah. But what? Huh? Yeah, well, it's opening night in Baton Rouge, and the place is sold out.
And Will Wade's coaching.
And there's a 5-star starting, a freshman. And there's another 5-star that's committed for next season. It's just it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable that these accredited journalists like really put their name on that stuff and think that they got like good information. Like there was nothing new in that article. The headline and the title was real splashy. What was it? NCAA circling around Wade, which may cost him his job. Get the if he'd have lost his job, it'd have been by now. If they would have gotten a notice of allegations, it would have been by now. If there was information that they're still searching for, that they need 48 hours of more interviews in Baton Rouge on, they don't have it. They don't have it. And as soon as they get it, I can promise you, just like we talked about with Al Capone back in the day, we can't get him on anything criminally. There's nothing out there. That guy's so covered up and buttoned up. They get on, but he did cheat his taxes one time. Throw his ass into jail. I mean, where did they put him in? They put him in the place in Alcatraz. Yeah. I mean, they put him on an island for tax evasion. It would be the same thing with Will Wade. If you heard that he gave a extra paper clip to a secretary that was deemed cheating, you'd run his ass to a high school basketball program in Tennessee.
Watch him win 10 state championships.
Brian Trueheart says, have Glenn back on the show for a call or something.
I would love that.
No.
I would love that. I mean,
sweating the whole time.
I've never seen the numbers drop so fast in my life.
Jeez, they wanted our ass.
Oh.
They did.
And Jordy was over there with just a shit-eating grin. Thought it was so funny.
It does.
This is our livelihood.
I mean,
that poor guy sitting here, and I'm like, if he could only see the
dance, Glenn, dance.
Pow, pow, pow.
Feed him some bullshit, Glenn. Tell him.
Slow down, Glenn. Help us out.
Super awkward.
We're having Glenn back on.
No.
Yes.
No.
Answer
No,
questions,
no,
Glenn.
Sure, you know it's gonna happen. We're gonna text tonight at midnight.
Walk your dog over here, Glenn.
I know, isn't? Can he just slide right?
Yeah, he's right down the street. He's the president of the neighborhood association, for God's sakes.
God.
Really?
You think we hate him?
Oh, he's got bigger fish to fry, dude, every day with this
ask
guy.
2 streets over about Gilbo and see what they say.
Oh my God.
You know, that lawn's a little long. I'm gonna have to
I
write
love
an article
Glenn.
about
I
it.
love Glenn. Glenn is the best, man. He's great to me. He's always been great to me. But Glenn, that was no good, man. I mean, you know what you were doing. You were clickbaiting the hell out of people.
The original
Totally.
clickbaiter.
He is the original
That's what
clickbaiter.
he does, right? He owns it.
He got me. He got me.
Clicked and you read
He's
it.
laughing. He's swirling his orange juice right now. Look at Culotta melting. That dumb son of a bitch. That stupid son of a bitch. Culotta, I thought you were much more mature than this.
Nope.
You've been doing this for 12 years now and you're still biting the bait, you dumbass.
All right, but we'll wait and I will get
God.
at least one from Culotta.
That son of a bitch got me. I
I'll
love
read your
Glenn.
little hit piece.
Yeah, right.
Let's end this with one of these questions that you've been adding to the document for the past week that we've never gotten
Oh, yeah.
to.
It's a release
Shout out to our super chats real quick too. Cody Boudreaux, who I've never seen one person love
Dude.
one thing more than Cody Boudreaux loves
We
Dune.
need to let him call in and explain,
Yeah,
dude.
Cody, we need to know your
He's
deal
paid
with
enough
Dune.
to
I mean,
to
it's
warrant a phone
almost
call.
as if
Funding
he
the
is
movie.
on Dune, like he's a part of the cast, the way that he promotes it. But I love your passion, Cody, and we will continue to ask everybody who walks through here about Dune. We made Jordan Peck very uncomfortable when we asked for his summarization of it yesterday. We have asked Nathan Velasquez of it. Anybody who
mine.
walks through the door, I've not seen it.
It's worth it.
I think we need to have Cody Boudreaux come and watch it, like live stream
I
him
mean,
watching it.
should
and
we start a
explain
Dune
that.
podcast hosted by Cody Boudreaux?
Yes, Cody, you need to start a Dune
Good
podcast.
Lord.
It's amazing. But he's making me definitely want. I have to see it, and I didn't read the books or keep
Look
up.
how many people hate Gilbo.
Yeah.
Get us to $100 and we can hate Gilbo all you want. We're like $5.02 away. It'd be great. Gilbo would hate it.
No
Gilbo
doubt
would
he's
hate if we hit
laughing. No
$100.
doubt he's laughing at me.
We should watch Dune with Cody and let him pause it and explain every scene. It'd be like
Yes.
24 hours.
Yes, it would.
What is Dune?
I don't know. I saw it. I don't know.
I mean, is it like a Western?
No.
No,
It's in the sand, though.
It's a series, right?
Okay, that's where-
it's
that's where
cult
I'm taking that
follow
from.
Type thing. Yeah.
Howdy, partner. They got like laser swords.
Is it 3
Zendaya's
hours?
in it.
It was like Zendaya is in it.
Zendaya's in
She
Dune.
doesn't say a lot. She has about 15 lines that are one word.
That's it.
Yeah, she has a lot of slow mo's of her where
No.
she does the.
She's fun to look at. though.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she is
So
fun to
that's the
look
point,
at.
yeah.
But apparently she plays a pivotal role, as we heard last Friday.
If we
But Cody
were
could tell
aware,
us.
he could tell us. We obviously have not followed.
But apparently
the series.
it's like an epic where, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan, I feel like you would know. It's like an 8-part book
yeah,
series.
it is. It's a book series.
Pull that microphone close to your mouth there and let them know about Dune, Jordan.
Let's get back to trying it.
Tom Granning just paying us 10. Tom, you do too much for us already.
Yes, thank you, Tom. Shout out to
Very sweet.
GoMart
Definitely shout out to Go-Mart. and
over in
our-
Natchez,
and
Mississippi.
Nico's.
Little feedback from the opening rant today, and I was just talking about Ogeron yesterday in the press conference, alluding to conversation that Nussmeier and he had with both Doug Nussmeier, who is Nussmeier's father, and Garrett Nussmeier, who is the obviously the quarterback at LSU.
Do you feel like you overreacted?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. I mean, I think it was probably extreme.
Yeah.
It's probably extreme,
Well,
but overreaction, I don't think so. It's just it's not just this example. It's just this in a long list of like you're a football coach, man. Like you tell everybody to protect the team, protect the locker room. You know what I mean? Like that's his big macho. Protect the team. One team, one heartbeat. Like, bro, are you kidding?
Getting worked up again.
Yeah, protect the team, and the first opportunity you have to bark into a microphone, you're telling them about private conversations with players and parents. Like, protect what team? You know what I mean? Like, that's some basic 101 stuff, and it's just it's just so maddening to see whether or not, I don't know if it's just the disrespect of the LSU football brand and the protecting and the when you are in that position, it should be just understood that you have to do and sacrifice some things, or it's just the blatant incompetence of it and just the ignorance where it's just like,
gosh damn it, we're doing it again.
I mean, good Lord. Good
like,
God!
It's
I mean,
like you got mad at your ex all over again when you're like looking through text
no
messages.
doubt.
You're like, God,
it is, and I agree that I agree that it is like that, and it doesn't serve any purpose because it's been deemed. It's already been decided on. It's already been judged. Yes, right. I mean, the gavel has been hit.
Yes.
I mean,
but she won't move her shit out my house.
But it's just like, I mean, this again. Like I told you could hang out for a month. I'm doing you a solid.
Did you find a house?
You know what I mean? Like I'm helping you out here. I'm paying you all this money. I'm asking you just for a month. Just keep it between the lanes. Just keep it between the lines. And every time I look up, you're veered off into the shit, man. I mean, just keep it straight and steady.
Taking the keys away.
I mean, nobody needs to know about those conversations. Nobody needed to know that you talked to him last week and wanted to redshirt. Now you're in this predicament. Now you're in this situation. Well, I thought last week you said that he wanted to redshirt. It was just going to be a red. Max was the guy. Well, no, you know, it's just like, we didn't interview the coordinator. What? Nah, bro. We know that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Mason Smith's on crutch, bruh. It's Tuesday.
He's been caught at the
podium with his pants
down so many times.
Saban's just sit like, zero. Check. We're good. You know what I mean? Like, how do you know? The head coach just told us. You know what I mean? Like the guy in charge of protecting the team in the brand just let us know.
Open book.
Best defensive player ain't playing this week. It's like, bruh. I mean,
flashback though. If you wanted to know
yeah.
Sadron's still out.
I'd imagine that a lot of people that listen to this show, that get this show, that are a part of this show, are in a CEO and a decision-making and a managerial type position. You run a brand. You protect your position. You protect your team. You protect your job status. Would you ever put that type of stuff on the street? Would you ever show up to the dinner party on Saturday night and be like, we just hired an executive. We didn't interview him. You know, like, don't tell people that. I mean, we got a reputation to uphold. I mean, but even if we didn't, that's behind the scenes stuff.
Don't tell them we're bankrupt.
Don't say that at SEC Media Day.
Fumble.
You know? You got a jump shot?
Sounds like he also
at all?
No.
I mean, if you make that shot right there in that basket off of Sammy's face, we'll get you $250 to Harper's Haberdashery. Okay.
No.
Wide right.
All right. I will say it sounded like.
Look, Katie, left hand straight down. Yeah, right there. A little double up. Yep.
Do it, Jordan.
You got fouled while in the act of shooting. 2 shots. Jesus Christ.
He doesn't have a jumper. He said
Good
himself
Lord.
he didn't have a jumper.
Here, take the 250 just to take the 250, bro.
Sorry for you now.
That's
First dude, now this.
Yes, Tom Granning owns a company. He runs a couple of companies. He understands what it's like to be a president and CEO, have some type of interest into that type of presidential position. He gives out way too much information. I mean, it's just like, dude, bro, shh, don't say that. Don't open us up to that.
I feel sorry. It makes me feel sorry for him.
I mean, again, I get it in 2016. In 2017, when he was like, I mean, Matt Canada wasn't my guy. Well, whose guy was it, bro? I mean, it's your position. It's your. I mean, I get feeling sorry for him then, but it's 5 years later.
Why is he still doing it?
Well, I guess he just doesn't know, man. I guess at the end of the day, really, the joke's on us.
Yeah, exactly.
I think. I mean, you know, they're just like, this guy's having an aneurysm over Ogeron just being Ogeron.
Right. They just prove it to you. This is who he is. Did Panamsky get him sick because he was snorting an awful lot in the microphone? He sounded sick.
Well, I don't know if Panamsky could have gotten him sick because there's a lot of play around the building that Panamsky was faking.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I guess because just the walls are closing in on him.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I've got pneumonia. I'll be back on Saturday.
Second grader move.
Exactly. Yeah, right. I mean,
the whole organization is like
I mean, did you see the press conference on Monday?
I know. I could hear him coming down the hallway. I was like, oh, there he comes.
Well,
Eddie Montana.
Wild weekend in Tuscaloosa.
That's a lot. It was weird.
Wow, look at himself already protecting himself in the chat. It's 2 bad shots. We'll get you a redemption on Friday, Peck.
Yeah.
But take the 250 for God's sakes. It's on the show. Just take the 250.
I expect to see you in here after hours. We can shots up.
Yeah, right. Why's that light on out there? Peck's sitting on the couch shooting free throws. He's got his kid with a bottle sitting there.
He's got a towel around
Make
his
it take
neck.
it, kid. I taught you that.
Have a great Tuesday. What a beautiful day.
It is.
Golly, it's a beautiful day.
Wish they could play basketball outside.
You can.
Yeah. I don't want to watch me or Peck play. I'm talking about the Tigers.
Tigers going to look great tonight. We'll be there at the Marriott Center. Boot up. Make sure you like, share, comment on this post before we get out of here. We appreciate that very much. Willie Wade was here at 8 a.m. We talked to Frank Wilson, and then Mama Bear, Efton Reed's mother, was here. Maria Reed was here at 8:30. All of that will be brought back to you in podcasted compliments of RMB Builders, rmb-builders.com. And don't forget about Relief Med. We've been telling you every single day, weed has been legalized medically in Louisiana. You've heard about it, but now you can take part in it. If you suffer from sleep anxiety, PTSD, depression, chronic pain, back pain, anything that may be a qualifying condition, which you can learn about all of the qualifying conditions online at Relief Med. I promise you, you've got a qualified condition. Just look it up. RELEAFmed.com. RELEAFmed.com. It was like that second grade conversation we had, like, what's wrong with you? Are you sick today? Just all you have to do is tell me your ear, your stomach, give me a cough, give me something, and I can call your mother, but you've got to give me something to work on. At Relief Med, you've got to tell me at least you've got some type of back pain, sleep anxiety, depression, chronic PTSD, whatever it may be.
Stop on the list.
Whatever it may be, a qualifying condition. It just has to be here. Roll the list out. Pick one.
It's Johnny Drama and Entourage when he can't decide which one's a doc. I don't know. And he just keeps on saying, Johnny, just pick one.
Just whatever it is, Johnny. Is it the calves?
A lot of issues.
Or the calves? But the steps are easy over at Relief Med. Complete the confidential online registration. Talk to a certified doctor, whether that is via the phone or video. Get approved and have a recommendation sent to the pharmacy closest to you.
Closest Walgreens.
Arrive at the pharmacy, consult with a Louisiana board certified pharmacist. This is high quality medical marijuana, people. Get over and find out if you can qualify today. Relief Med, RELEAFmed.com. I know Jordan Peck looked like he was hopped up on it this morning during those free throws, but we're going to see if we can't get him into the system here pretty quickly, because it looks like he's going through something. You got something going on upstairs, big fella. You pulled the string on that second shot way too tight. Great Tuesday show. Enjoy it. Like and share. We appreciate you being there. Go Chevrolet drives us every day. We're back with you tomorrow morning.